What's up everyone, it's Mariah and I wanted to give you guys a video on an update of my seeds that I've started inside. So let's get to it. So right now I have a shelf that I started and I have 3 rows as of now. I think I started it with only this middle one. But then I added the bottom one, and then I had to move some houseplants on top for more splitting up of seeds and seedlings. So up here I have peppers, and this was recently split up. What I did was I started everything in one variety in one pot, and then I went ahead and when it's time, I'll go and split them up. So that's what I did with the peppers. I still have some peppers that I need to split up over here. So these over here, I still need to split up. And then the varieties that I have right now are Pipin's Golden Honey Pepper, which is supposedly a sweet pepper. And all of these peppers I've never actually grown before, so this will be new to me. That's why I ended up with double the amount of peppers, because I kind of started them a month and a half ago and I didn't see them coming up after 21 days, so then I started more. Rookie mistake by me, but now I have more to give away or more to plant for myself, so that's exciting. So this Pipin's Golden Honey Pepper right here, it's kind of interesting. It has these purple leaves, which I thought was really cool. But supposedly it's a sweet pepper. And the Pipin's Golden Honey Pepper, the peppers have different colors on one plant, which I thought was really cool. At least that's what I saw on the seed packet, and I can show you that really quick. So let's get to the seed packet over here. Yeah, see? So it's got these purple and orange, and they're kind of smaller, and I thought they were really pretty. So, and then also I love the history of this pepper too. So I can't quite remember the full story over the top of my head, but I'll give a link to the full story in the description below for that one. The other peppers that I have is this Criolla de Cocina, I think is how you say it. And it's a hot pepper, and it's red, of course, and it's got these really cool waves and ripples on it. And you can see what it looks like here. And these are all of the peppers that I started were pretty much from Baker Creek, besides the lemon drop pepper. And yeah, I think it was just the lemon drop pepper that I started from seed that was not from Baker Creek. That's from M.I. Gardner. And so that's the Criolla de Cocina hot pepper. I have, as you can see, I have a ton of those ones. And then I started some pumpkin spice jalapeno peppers, which are orange, which I thought was really cool. What is this one here? Another pumpkin spice. I think most of these are going to be... Oh, and then I have shishito in the back. So I have 2 shishito plants. And that's like I think it's a Japanese mildly hot pepper. But yeah, I'm excited to try those and blister them. I'm by no means an expert in peppers, but I'm just really excited if I do get like one pepper out of all of these pepper plants that I've started. Some other varieties that I started were the Tam Jalapeno pepper. And when I did reseed my peppers, I went ahead and did pumpkin spice and Tam Jalapeno peppers in one, because I was like, they're both going to be jalapeno peppers. So I might as well just start them in the same pot. And then some more Criolla. And then a lilac bell pepper from Baker Creek. Another one. and then more Pipins, golden honey peppers. And then here's the lemon drop pepper that I started, and I only have one plant of those. That's the only one that came up. And that one came up before I decided to start more peppers from seed when I was not seeing results right away. So here, I'll go and show you what they all look like. So the lilac bell pepper, of course the Pipin's golden, shishito peppers, which you can kind of half see. Criolla de Cocina, that's poblano. I didn't plant those. Lemon drop, so they're really tiny. I thought those were kind of cool. Pumpkin spice jalapeno and Tam Jalapeno. And that's it for the peppers. And then I've got this Roman chamomile that I seeded way too heavy. So I'm gonna go tonight and split up the peppers that I have left, this Roman chamomile that I have left, and then the German chamomile that is also way too heavy seeded. So I need to go ahead and plant and split those up. And then I have some anise hyssop. I think it's just 3 plants in there. So I eventually will need to split those up. And then I might have also started all of these seeds like 1 week earlier than what the Farmer's Almanac suggests. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be doing a lot of potting up, which is okay with me because I have a new system for potting up seeds, so it's not gonna take me too long. And then I've got Blacktail Mountain Watermelon, and then I think it's 3 plants of that. And then this banana melon, which I thought was pretty cool, so I started that. And then what I'm waiting on in this flat is the passion flower, so passiflora. And I have 3 pots of that. There's only about 2 or 3 seeds in each because it takes so long. You had to soak the seeds, and then you needed for 2 days, I think. So, and then it's like a month to 3 months time of letting it germinate. And then I've got some wild chicory, which will go into the medicinal garden. Yellow mustard that still hasn't come up, that I just planted like last week, so I'm not expecting these things to be up now. And then blue wild indigo, which I thought was it'll be in the medicinal garden, but I'll probably just use that like for like baths or something to make my bath water blue, or for experimental dyeing of fabrics. So I'm excited about that, and it's just really pretty to look at in the garden. And then on to the tomatoes, which I will have to up pot tonight as well. I've got orange jazz, which is a slicer tomato. Then I've got beefsteak, which is also slicer. And I think this is another beefsteak. Yeah. So and then I've got some tomatillos right there. I have 3 tomatillo plants. So 1, 2, and 3. And then it's kind of hard to get in there to show all of these. So that's it. Oh, I have 4 tomatillos. Never mind. Then I've got some ground cherries in the back here, and 3 plants of that. And and then the last one is the Supreme Tomato back there, which is kind of hard to see as well. This one was more of a slow grower, but I'm excited. It definitely grew more once I split it up. And I think the last one I have is a Sungold. Yeah. Yep. So Sungold, orange jazz, beefsteak, and the Supremo, and then some ground cherries in the back, and then tomatillos on the side. And then on the bottom here, I've got eggplants and basil, and then a Honeynut Squash, which is like a butternut squash, but more sweet, I think. I've never grown any of these, so I'm really excited. So the eggplant, I've got the little finger eggplant. And then I think the next one, I only have one plant of the Antigua eggplant, which is a bigger eggplant than the little fingers. And then the basil I have are the Genovese Basil, and then the dark opal, or the blue opal basil. And then some seeds that are in the back that are kind of hard to see. I've got some lemongrass, which will go in a pot because it can't go in the ground. It's just an annual. So my plan is to put it in a pot and then harvest it at the end and then just start more seeds for that next year. Or I can bring this plant inside and cater to it during the winter and then put it back outside, kind of like a house plant. And then I've got some mountain arnica that I've started, just 2 seeds of, and they both came up. And they're kind of cute. You see that a little better. And then 1 rhubarb plant. I purposely only did 1 because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to plant rhubarb, but I decided I would try it. And then this is that Honeynut Squash that I was talking about in the beginning. Really fuzzy leaves and just really pretty. This one's more far along. And then I have a lot of cucumber that I've started. So I've got Dar Cucumber, which I think it's brown. No, that's not the brown variety. That's not the one that's brown. No, that's just green. And it's a hybrid cucumber, so you can use it for pickling or just fresh eating. And then the other one that I have is the Boston pickling cucumber, which is mainly for pickling. And then what else is in here? Oh, the yellow scallop squash. So I have 2 plants, or maybe 3. No, I think I only have 2 plants of those. So those are the squashes and cucumbers over here. The grow lights that I'm using, this one I got off of Amazon. I'm not quite sure of all of the specs. So I just got this one off of Amazon. That one seems to be a lot more spread out and even in regards to light distribution. But the ones that I got from Home Depot, they're skinnier. They do pretty well, but they're not, and it helps that we don't have the wall finish, so it's just reflecting off of the aluminum foil like surface, so it's creating a little bit more light. But those are a little bit less. They're a little bit less strong in my opinion, but they still work. So I have those Home Depot ones on the bottom shelf, and then another Home Depot one on the top shelf, and then the Amazon one in the middle where I started all of this. And then I just have a power strip. I probably should have used something other than metal to put this up, maybe zip ties or something. I might change that later. But I just put it on the shelf and then plugged in my lights. Not my heat mat. I do have a heat mat here, but I want my heat mat to stay on, so I just plug that directly into the receptacle and not in the power strip, so that heat mat could stay on. So when I want to turn off my lights, I can just turn it off right here at the power strip. Bonus round, I've got some houseplants up here still, and I've got a spider plant. I've got a really nice aloe that's been doing a lot better up here, and it's got a lot of pups on it, so I'll have to go in and take the pups when they're ready and make more plants. And then I forget what this one is actually. I think it's a ficus. I'm pretty sure it's a ficus, but it's in the smallest pot ever. So that's why it's kind of just top leaves only, but it still looks okay. And then I've got a ZZ plant. It's a ZZ Raven. It's kind of hard to see up here, but I've got a ZZ Raven up there. And then, oh, what is this one? This is also a ficus. This is the ficus. Okay, this is the ficus. And this is not a ficus. This is a peperomia. So that is peperomia. And this is ficus. And then I always forget the name of that. It's not a Dracaena. And then I have an avocado plant back there that needs to be watered. It is starting to get more leaves, which is good, but I'll need to water it and maybe cut it halfway down so then it can make a better, stronger branch. And I have more houseplants downstairs, but that's the only houseplants that I'll show you because I kind of have a lot of the same thing, I think. So, yeah. I also am experimenting with starting my own seed starting mix. So in this mix, I have perlite, vermiculite, peat moss, which now I'm just seeing a controversy with peat moss. So I might change to something else or just use compost and sift the compost out. And then I added some mycorrhiza in there. And I am using this one here, the Plant Success Organics Granular. And it's just something that I was able to find at Tractor Supply, I believe. Or maybe Wilco. I don't remember. But I did a 1:1 ratio for the perlite, vermiculite, and peat moss. And then I just sprinkled maybe a cup or so of the mycorrhiza in there and just mixed it all up. And then I have this bin so that I can just wet the soil before I start using it easier. I was using this small container to mix my soil, but now that I have so many more plants, it's just easier to have a bin and put all of the seed starting mix in there. And the fish fertilizer that I use, it's the more common one, the Alaska brand fish fertilizer. And I just mix that with water, obviously, and then I bottom feed it to the plants. When I first used it, I put like a little bit inside the pot, like inside this pot, and then the rest for all of them, and then the rest of the fertilizer I had left, I just put them in the trays. But now I'm just going in and putting them in the trays because I switched up my seed starting mix, which now has mycorrhiza in it and is not just a base sterile seed starting mix. I guess the last thing that I will show you is my my binder of seeds, which is working out for me so far. Nothing's gotten wet, and it's a really good system for me as a beginner to see what seeds I'm using and when I'm starting them. So then for next year, I can go on and just see if I started it too early or if I need to start it later. So I have this binder, and I talked a little bit about this in my first video, but I didn't do a close-up. So I have all of my vegetable seeds in here, and then like this one flower seed, agastache, and then some barley in here, and basil. And so these are mainly vegetables for like eating. And I've got beans. I'm really excited to start the beans this year. I'm going to direct sow them, which is said to be really good for this area. Last year, I was able to do beans in the ground. Not at this house. It was at my house that I was renting before. But I was able to do it in the ground, but I had started the seeds indoors, it was fine, but I could have done without doing them inside. So I have all my vegetable seeds in here. And then I have just a little sheet where I can do a log of the date that I start something, and then the name of what I'm starting, and then where I started it. And that's been helpful so that I know, like, oh, I started it the 7th, and it's the 21st and it still hasn't come up. Maybe I can just wait. Or since I'm such an impatient person, I see that I started the 7th and it's only like the 10th or something. I'm like, why isn't it come up? But because it's only been 3 days. So, and it helps me to be a little bit more patient for when seeds, for expecting germination. So I have this here, this seed starting log, and I might update this to like an actual like notepad or something that I just put here, so then I don't have to staple pages together or like get more pages, you know. And then this was just a note to myself. One day I went on Farmer's Almanac and just jotted down what I could start, and when I could start them. So for our time, end of January, I just have peppers, eggplant, celery, oregano, thyme, and then early Feb, end of Feb, etc., etc. So that's been really helpful for me to see when I started something and when I'm expecting germination to happen. And then also for future years, it'll help me to plan a little bit better on when I should start something, depending on the results of this year. The other binder that I have is for all of my medicinal seeds and flower seeds. So I've got poppies, I've got sunflowers, chamomile that I've started already, anise hyssop, bean balm, and zinnias that I'm excited to start. So all of these are just the flowers and the medicinal seeds, so that I can just keep those separate and see what I need to do there. But I do go in and use the same log that's in the vegetable garden, the vegetable seed one, just so that I have it in the same area. And for the zinnia seeds and the sunflower seeds, any flowers that I still have left to start indoors or indoors. We just got a Harbor Freight greenhouse, so we're going to be setting that up maybe sometime soon. I don't know when, but when that is ready, then I'll probably start my flower seeds in that. So that's the update so far on my seeds, and thank you for watching, and I hope that you watch more. Thank you. Bye.